without me telling them to. Okay, we need to go over the last two math workshop problems, and then we have some notes to do today. Now, I'm hoping you're sticking on it today, and if you are, I'm not this good, but I can grade your checkpoint and your perfect squares test. Is there any way I'm going to grade your checkpoint and perfect squares test and your quiz before you leave this class period? I don't know. I'll try my best, but I highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. If you didn't turn in your checkpoint yesterday, you were supposed to finish it for homework. I'm not going to cry about it if you didn't, but that means you're probably going to end up with homework tonight, whereas most people aren't. Just FYI. Okay, let's start with number 17. It is a justification question. It says, which one doesn't belong? Identify the compound inequality that is not the same as the other three. Explain your reasoning. It's worth 2 points if someone has a reason for it. Yes, dear. 2.1. The 2.3 that was half a sheet that we got yesterday when the quiz was over. No, everyone got the points for 2.1. That's a good question, though. Okay, I'm about to get to eat my own points. Is that really what you wanted this morning? Okay. You can keep thinking. I haven't answered it yet. Okay, well, I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's see. What I would do is I would graph them and then see if there's any differences in their graphs. It's clearly the direction I'm headed in. So let's see. -3, I'm going to put a circle. At 5, I'm going to put in a circle. I'm going to put in circles at everybody. Why am I not filling in any of these circles? Because it doesn't have the equal to sign, and every group can have a point. Okay, it's between -3 and 5 for this one. This one says x is less than 3 and x is greater than 2, so look, it's in between again. So I've got an and graph, an and graph. This one looks like it's an and graph, but when I graph it, x is greater than 5. I mean, they wrote the word and, but x is less than 1. Is this actually an and graph? What is this? It's an or. So I'm betting it's this one. Let's check. X is greater than -2. X is greater than it should be x is less than -2. There's a typo right there. And x is greater than 4. That's a typo. So if you were confused because that last one threw you off, I can give you that. That's a typo. It's supposed to be this one because it was supposed to be that 3 of them were and graphs and 1 was an or graph, and you were supposed to figure out which one was the one that didn't match. Are there any questions on 18? Then let's go to 19. It says we're given the graph of a function f of x. On what intervals is it constant and what intervals is it negative? Can anyone tell me an interval where it's constant? Yes, dear. -4. And when we say an interval of x, we literally mean tell me the numbers on the x-axis where the graph is constant. It's constant between here and here. Isn't it constant when it's flat? So what value is that starting at? Isn't that 0 and then it's ending at? So it's constant between 0 and 3. So I'm going to even write it in that notation. 0 is less than x is less than 3. Heck, I might put less than or equal to since they did color stuff in. Or if you just wanted to write 0 to 3, that's fine. Either one's going to be okay this morning. Okay, and then it asked, where is it negative? So my hint to you is if this was a roller coaster, and I'm not done, am I? We need to back up. I've almost made a mistake. Am I done with the areas that it's constant? Is there any other place where it's constant and flat? Yes, there's another point available. Can someone tell me where this is? Say it again, ma'am. Did you say -4 to 6? But when I look at the x-axis as to where this is starting, isn't that +6? Isn't it starting at 6? And then it kept on going to 10, but then what does our graph have on it? What does our graph have on it on the ends? And what do the arrows mean? That it keeps on going forever. So basically, as long as x is greater than 6, that's another area where it keeps on being flat. So from 0 to 3, and then if you liked writing it like this, I would say 6 to infinity. We don't know when it ends. 6 to forever. It stays flat. Now, if you're having trouble with this, my hint to you is I pretend that a function is like a roller coaster. And if this is a roller coaster and we're on the ride, when we say constant, we mean where is it flat and boring. When we say increasing, it means we're going uphill. When we say decreasing, we're going downhill. But for our second question, it says negative. So where on this roller coaster ride would we be going down the hill? Between what and what? Between 3 and 6. Yes, I heard it from you first, Eduardo. You can have the point. So between 3 on the x-axis all the way till 6, because you know it's 6. From then on out, it ends up being constant. So I shouldn't have said that. It ends on being constant. So I would say from 3 to 6. And I probably should not put the less than or equal to's, because let's face it, this is where stuff keeps changing. I should probably just put the greater thans or the less thans. I'm making life too complicated, and I did not write 6. I wrote 3 to 3. That doesn't make sense. 3 to 6. So if Natalie just wants to write the words 3 to 6, I'm not going to be mad today. Okay, everyone took their quiz yesterday. And some people broke my heart, and we'll talk about what they did today. So get out your notes. A few days ago, when we were talking about 2-2, we talked about how to graph a line simply by using its intercepts. So for instance, we did this problem where we figured out the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and we just connected the dots, and that was that. But to be honest, when I grade Mackenzie's paper, do I always look for her work for the x and y intercept? No. The first thing I look at is Mackenzie's graph. So if she knows how to graph this line, even though she can't necessarily follow the said directions, as long as she graphs the line, I don't cry about it and lose any sleep at night. I give her points. So if you skip the last 2 on the quiz that asked for graphing just because it said use the intercepts, shame on you. Why not at least graph the line to get the points from me? Now you know. When is our Chapter 2 test? Mid-test. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. We've already done 2-1, 2-2, 2-3. We've got one last section left. We're going to do half of it today. We're going to do the other half Tuesday, review Wednesday, test Thursday. Okay, so the one section we're going to do today is actually probably Addison's easiest section yet. Slope-intercept form. So an equation, that's our next page of our notes, sorry, the next blank page. So an equation of the form y equals mx plus b is in slope-intercept form. They didn't really give a form, didn't they? It's in slope-intercept form. And when an equation is written in this, you can easily identify the slope and the y-intercept of its graph. Is there anyone in the room who's never heard of slope-intercept before? I didn't think so. So today should be an easy day. Okay, let's go ahead and go to number 1. We're going to identify the slope. We're going to identify the y-intercept. Someone wants to volunteer for number 1. I need to know the m, the slope. I need to know the b, which is the y-intercept. Yes, Seth? And the b? Perfect, and you can have a point for that. And then everyone wants to cry because he got the easy one. Number 2 is in what form almost? Kelsey, you get a point for that. It's almost in standard form, so it kind of breaks our heart. It's not in slope-intercept. We're going to have to move it over and make everything y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides and have 3x plus 2y equals 10. Because I've added 10 to both sides. I'm going to subtract 3x, and I'll have 2y equals negative 3x plus 10. But I'm still not quite in y equals mx plus b, because to be in that form, y has to be all by itself. What is bothering the y? The 2. The 2's living next to that y. We've got to get rid of it. So everybody's getting divided by 2. So we actually have y equals negative 3x over 2 and 10 over 2. But a lot of us already realized 10 over 2 is what number? 5. So my answer is actually y equals negative 3 halves x plus 5. Now, is there a faster way to do that? Yes. There is. Will most people remember that? No. Most people are going to do this, and that's fine. If you're interested in a faster way, come see me 0 period. Otherwise, this will be completely fine for us. Okay, now here's your easy shot. I rearranged it for you. What's the M? What's the B? Yes, Paige. And what's the B? B is positive 5. Perfect, and you get a point for that. Okay, number 3 is all you. It is in standard form completely. You need to rearrange it and just tell me the M and the B. And you know fractions are my thing, so I'm hoping you're going to tell me some fractions. And you can see all my stuff. I thought I froze the screen. Hard. Eduardo. Minus 2? I got 5 over 2. I got the negative 1/2 x, but 10 over 4 I thought was 5 over 2. Okay, you did 2.5? Okay. Well, 4 was negative, so I've made a typo. See, this is why we don't get to show my answers on the screen. I told you, negatives are always my problem. Okay, so Ms. Brister is correct. Well, let's start with the first step. We moved the x over. So we had negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 10. But Ms. Thompson, being a blonde, did not pay attention when I divided. Instead of dividing by negative 4, I just divided by positive 4, which is how my answers ended up with sign errors. I, like you, am human. I broke it apart and did negative 2 over negative 4, which is that being positive 2 over 4x, which reduces to 1/2. And then 10 over negative 4 is negative 10 over 4, and that reduces to negative 5 over 2. And I really didn't mean to freeze the screen and you not see my work. What a bummer. Oh well. Are there any questions about number 3? Our intercepts do not have to be pretty whole numbers. If you get an intercept like 5 over 2, good grief. If you get an intercept like 5 over 2, don't be scared. I would say number 4 is yours, but most people are going to break my heart. Look, we'll try it. Can someone tell me the slope and the y-intercept for number 4? Yes, Kelsey.
The slope is 0 and the y.
And you can have a point for that. That is for sure. Okay, so really that equation is y equals 0x plus 7. We don't have any x's. So that's why our slope is 0 and our intercept is at 7. if it says y equals 7, it ends up being a pretty line like this, which is a function, and maybe I want to make a note to that to myself somewhere near the top. Y equals 7, when you graph it, you get a pretty horizontal line at 7. Whereas x equals 7, you end up with a line going through the value of x equals 7 that looks like this, and that's a problem y. What's wrong with the x equals 7? Why do we not like it at all? What is it not? It's not a function. Who said it? Was that you, Hunter? And you can have a point for that. It would fail that vertical line test. We still have to know how to graph it, but it's technically not a function. Okay, now that we went deep for half a second, because that's where it's about to come up, let's graph number 1. When you graph and slope-intercept, can someone slowly explain it to me like I'm in kindergarten? Okay. You say it again, because you said something about the 2 first, Seth.
2x on the y.
Okay, so I thought you put your point at 1, like Kelsey said, because that's where the intercept is. And then you use that 2 to count the slope. So since it's 2 over 1, I count up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. And heck, I can go down 2 over 1 as well. But let's face it, once you get a couple, Miss Compton's not that picky in life. Once you get 3 or 4, just draw you a line. Clearly, I did that one a little off. Thank you, Kelsey. You can have a point. Why is number 2 frustrating? It's not in slope-intercept form. It is in standard form. So it's not in slope-intercept form. So you need to rearrange it and graph it. So you, for real this time, rearrange it. Tell me your slope and your intercept. You got -1 for your M, and what was your B? Okay, so did you graph the line? Okay, so I agree with him. I move my x over, I get y equals -x minus 3, which means my intercept is at -3, so I put my point down at -3. And then since my slope is 1, it's -1, if I go down 1, I go right 1. And if I go up 1, I go left 1. And again, you already know Miss Compton made a mistake with her negative signs this morning. I remind myself that a positive slope, its line leans to the right, whereas if you have a negative slope, your line should lean left. Because if you're like me and sometimes you get a little confused, I have to remind myself. And I say, oh yeah, it was negative. It was supposed to lean left. I'm not crazy. I just need that little bit of reassurance. Okay. Is there anyone who needs my help with this? Anyone confused on graphing? I only have a couple left, and then you've got quite a few of your own. Okay, flip to the back. We're going to skip number 3. We're going to skip number 3. We won't skip number 4. So go ahead and put it in slope-intercept form. Number 4. I need to know my... Why are you not freezing when I think you're freezing today? I need to know my slope and my y-intercept.
Your recording's off.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Someone want to tell me my slope and my intercept? Seth, you can have a point. Okay, so we subtracted by x on both sides, and we had negative 5y equals negative x plus 5. We divided by negative 5. Negative 1 over negative 5 made the positive 1/5. 5 divided by negative 5 made the negative 1. I don't know if you graphed it yet, but you need to. It's terribly annoying. You put your intercept at negative 1, and then when you count up 1 over 5, you would like to go up 1 over 5 again, but you can't because there's not enough lines on the graph. So I really only got to put 3 good points. But again, the slope is the up and down is the numerator, left and right is the denominator, so that's why I'm going up 1 and then to the right 5. Okay, are there any questions about this one? I know you're like, Miss Compton, again, we're just repeating stuff we already learned out of one, and I know, I'm just gotta know that you still know. It'll be sad if you don't. We are going to skip number 6, but we're not going to skip number 5. In fact, heck, we've already done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 goes through here. This is x equals 7. But we're mad at this because, one, we can't see it on the screen. We're mad at this because this is not a function. We're still going to do it because the directions told us to, but it's not a function. It fails that vertical line test. Okay, I want to get your perfect squares things graded, and I want to grade those checkpoints that are already done. When you get your checkpoint done from yesterday, the half a sheet, bring it to me. If you've lost it, come see me to get a new one. Otherwise, I hear you packing and you don't even know what your thing is. You have to do the next page. It says worksheet. It's yours. It's problems 1 through 12. If you really felt like it, you could have it done before you left the room. If you hadn't worked on your checkpoint, it's never going to happen. If you need help with this in any way, please ask me or Miss Brister. Otherwise, we're not psychic. We assume you're good with graphing. You know you can talk to your group and make sure they're getting the same answers, right? Okay, cool.